Even if you can come on and talk about why you don't like it or your like bad experience you had with it, like we love those stories. You know, like that makes for some good talk.
So we are back for another episode of the Business Workshop Podcast, and do we have a banger of an episode today for all our 420 future employees and future people that want to sell, eat, whatever you do in the marijuana field. This is going to be the episode that everybody wants to get into. Anything entrepreneurial, this is the episode. Again, if anybody doesn't know this company, you're going to know them today. So let's bring on our guest from New York Pot Butter, the one, the only, Franco and Mario.
Yeah, welcome.
What's up, boys? Thanks for having us.
What's going on?
What's up?
Thanks for having us.
No, listen, thank you for coming on. For the people that don't know you, give them a little bit of rundown, who you guys are, what you guys did maybe before you got into this industry, and just a little bit about maybe your backstory.
Lead us off, my boy.
All right, so I'll take you through the Oven Podcast side. On the Oven Podcast, we have a THC-infused dinner on every episode with our guests. We travel to different restaurants. We have different chefs on, and we have a good time. We talk about anything under the sun. We have guests from all walks of life. We've had a UFC fighter on, example, Matt Frivola. We've had a chef that was on the Food Network, Chef Harry Poole. So all different kind of guests. And, New York Pot Butter, Franco's company. I'm his biggest fanboy. We use all of their treats, oils, butters to infuse the meals that we have. Last year, a bunch of people were like, Mario, why don't you start a podcast? And Franco knew this. Someone approached him with a podcast idea. Franco had an idea himself. You know, he kind of took, the New York Pot Butter, the infusions and the dinners. He's like, let's roll with it. I'm like, I'm down, do it. And the rest is history. And we've just been chipping away ever since. And just with the amazing connections that he's made within the industry, that opened up the door to so many different possibilities for us in terms of venues, restaurants and guests. And it's just been a blessing to do it alongside my lifelong friend.
That's awesome.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, how cool is this, man? We got four guys that basically grew up together, just hanging out right now on your podcast. Who would have thunk, 15 years later?
So, yeah, Josh, let them know. So, for everybody watching, us four right here are proud graduates of MacArthur General Douglas MacArthur High School out in Levittown, New York. Franco and Mario are a couple years younger than us, and we've known each other for years. We've been brushing shoulders, so it's awesome to have all four of us together on this side.
Me and Josh Abbey Lane.
That's it.
Gorgeous boy.
So, listen.
Lee Road, baby. Lee Road.
Lee Road, you're out.
Lee Road.
So the question is, what got you into deciding, you know what, let's turn this fun thing of making edibles, I'm guessing in your kitchen at one point, right, to maybe this could be one day of business to, one day I want to sell these things to, let's build a brand around all this.
Well, I mean, like Steve said, we went to high school together back in MacArthur, man. It was probably around 9th or 10th grade. We were making edibles we were getting edibles from people that were making them in their mom's kitchen, telling us, 50 milligrams. Back then, we had no idea what the hell that even meant. We were like, 50 milligrams? Yeah, we'll be sky high. Let's just do it. But, when we first started smoking, man, we smoked because, I mean, maybe I don't speak for everybody, but, in the back of your head, you're always like, man, you're kind of getting away with something here, because it was pretty illegal back then. So, now it's medicine. So, when we first started, everyone's taking pills. My dad, for instance, is taking, for his back, for his surgeries, everything is, the doctor's prescribing a pill for this, a pill for that. It's like, man, we have edibles. Why don't you just try this? And, it's a healing flower. So for us, it was really a simple transition. We kind of we grew some legs and then met up with one of my guys, and he has a lifelong bakery, family bakery. Some of the best rainbow cookies, which I can't wait for you to try.
People go crazy over those.
Everything's infused and not infused as well. So it's a pretty simple transition for these guys. The butter, the oil, the distillate, whatever it may be. There's no difference in taste either. So it's been fun, man. Once we decided to put the brand, my buddy Brian Lee that does all my artwork, some Mario's artwork. He drew up a logo, in like 10 minutes. He came back with this.
Wow.
I was like, bro, that's it. Like that's literally it. Like,
you guys have a partner on the baker side of things who actually handles that whole process and actually has a culinary background on that standpoint?
Yeah. So funny story, man. Our baker, the first day I met him, he was telling me like what he was making, how long he's had the bakery for. And when he first came up, he was doing specialty cakes. I was like, specialty cakes? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, put it this way. Like, I was baking cakes that like midgets were chilling in. I was like, holy shit, you're it. Like, we found you.
Oh, was he on the island or?
So he's out in Queens.
In Queens, okay.
Yeah, we got a guy in Queens. We have a girl, Jenna, Baked by Jenna. She does like specialty cookies for us and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's a wizard, man. Like a little like ghost kitchen almost.
So are you baking everything up at? Does he have a commercial kitchen? Does he actually have a bakery out in Queens that you're mixing everything up there?
Yeah, full on bakery. Everything's done after hours for us. And then over here, same thing. She has a kitchen bakery that she works out, kitchen in her mom's place also.
Got it.
It's funny, man, because everyone that we talk to, that we give the opportunity to, like they all jump on it. We're at the point we have how many restaurants right now? Probably 16 to 20, like restaurants that we can bounce around to that will infuse for us, or just open their doors and be like, "Yo, come in for a nice meal."
That's the thing. I feel like it's such a unique opportunity that you can give these restaurants or bars to offer to their clientele that's now legal. And how cool is it for, some up and coming bar out in Bayshore, out in Babylon Village and Farmingdale to now, run a promo, put it on their Instagram, put it all out there, have you guys come in, and it's different. It's nothing like anybody's seen before. And especially if it's marketed the right way, you have, your cool designs, you can bring in interesting, people like that. So it's such an awesome approach that you guys can offer on that.
No, yeah, for sure, man. And I'm happy you said Bayshore. Shout out Sweet Jane. They just opened. They're going to be opening this week. They opened last week to friends and family.
Nice.
We did one of our podcasts with Violena there, music artist from out east. And the food is, made at Coastal, but now they're full on fledged. Yeah, all their drinks. So they're Costa Verde. But next week, man, they're going to be open their doors. And it's a beautiful spot.
It's so hot right now.
That's it. That damn Bayshore.
And we're driving all the way up to Fishkill on Thursday to film an episode. So, like, this is from Suffolk to Nassau to the city, and now we're heading upstate. This is like, it's an awesome feeling that we're finding restaurants from literally all over.
In terms of people you're bringing on to the podcast, I was looking at some of the names you guys had. So, Mims, Jackie the Joke Man. I see you got Lil Mo, who's coming on. Kyle Gordon, I've been following him on Instagram. Dude's hysterical, the comedian. I watched a little bit of yours last night with him. And are these just people that you guys like and follow that you're like, hey, I want to reach out to them? Or are they, marijuana enthusiasts? Or how are you guys coming about bringing on these kind of individuals?
I mean, really, we just mix it up a little bit, man. At this point, especially now that it's legal in New York, everyone smokes. Now, I'm not saying everyone smokes, but everyone, at least in my opinion, has tried smoking at one point, especially the people that we're bringing on. Most of these guys have grown up in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Someone smoked pot at some point. Yes. Even if they didn't like it. So, even if you can come on and talk about why you don't like it or your bad experience you have with it, we love those stories. That makes for some good talk. Mm-hmm. But then some of them, are read enthusiasts. Like Danny Danko came on. Northeast Leaf magazine, High Times magazine. This guy picks the strain of the year 10 years running. This is nuts. So, I just want to talk to people that I want to speak to, And I don't know if you guys, we always used to ask, we used to get dumb high and ask stupid questions. We'd be like, one historical figure that you could sit down with to dinner, ask any question, who would it be? And I don't even know if I have an answer, but I ask it every time on the podcast.
And you could probably get some wild answers probably too.
Yeah, no, we get some good ones. But then I also think we can just bring on, we have 27 guys coming on. So we have, we can bring 27 people on for first season and just have dinner with 27 different people. So there's a lot of things that we could do with it, which is cool.
Have you ever had anybody at the dinner that just ate too much and they weren't expecting to get hit, they got smacked in the face after, and it was just a bit
every week, Mario.
I was like, yeah, you got him right here.
So that's kind of like the joke with me. I'm a lightweight. I've never been a weed enthusiast as much as Franco. but I have gotten into it, recently. And the funny thing is, everyone always says to me, like, wait a minute, you like edibles more than you like smoking? Like, doesn't that fuck you up? I don't even know if I can curse on here, so I'm sorry. But
it's all good here.
yeah. So, they're like, wait a minute, you like edibles and you do better with those. But that's another thing about New York pop butter, man. I stress this all the time, is when I get something from Franco, I know that the milligram is accurate on there. I know if it's 100 milligrams, I know I'm not eating the whole thing because I'd be on the floor. I know I got to, make my slices. And if I do it the right way, I'm fine. So I'm getting the product that's a high quality product. The treats taste really good. And I know exactly how it's going to affect me. And for me, I'm a full body high guy. I'm not the head high of smoking. So that's the route I go. And that's the beauty of it. Like Franco said, it's a medicine. You can use it to your advantage. You can use it how you want to use it. Whatever's going to make you feel better. The whole stoner vibe, like just being baked out of your mind and useless. Nobody wants to be like that. At least I don't want to be like that. I got things to do. If I'm using it, maybe I'm just chilling with friends or I'm going to bed. Maybe my back hurts and I'm trying, not taking painkillers.
That's why microdosing is such a big thing right now, because you can get a nice little buzz, and on 5-10 milligrams. I know they have the microdosing gummies. I've taken a couple of those. They have like the Tic Tacs. They have a lot of different things of that nature. And for me, me and Josh used to smoke a lot back in the day. I don't nearly do it as much anymore. Me now, it's just every couple months I'll take a gummy, and I like just maybe on a Friday night I take a half a gummy, drink a couple glasses of wine, and I'm just coasting, feeling good. And that's just kind of my speed. And that's where it's not like, I'm getting zooted out of my mind. I can just, kind of just coast a little bit. And
well, that's what it used to be. That's what it used to be. It used to be like, we would smoke one and be like, roll another.
Yes.
Roll another. And it's like, let's see how high we get. Now it's like, all right, I want to be a person, bro. I want to smoke and
every time I hear somebody say that, roll another, I always think of back in Wildwood for graduation. Steve bought enough where he's like, and he didn't know how to roll a blunt yet. He was still learning, and I barely smoked at the time, but I could roll a great one. So literally, we were in the same room, and I had to roll for him on the hour every hour because he couldn't do it, and I just always did that every time.
It was first Friday in Wildwood. We got there. Josh rolled one up for me every hour. I think we started at like 4 o'clock, and I think I made it to like 10 or 11 o'clock. I was out that night, and everybody else was partying, sleeping away. But I didn't go to sleep for the rest of the trip. So that's it.
Wow.
So back to where you said the milligrams, because I think a lot of people, don't really know how the milligrams kind of work. And you say like, okay, this whole brownie is 100 milligrams, right? What does that really mean? Break it down for, dummy proof it for, okay, this is 100 milligrams. This is 50 milligrams, 25, 10 milligrams. Like, what does that really like equate to?
So, I mean, really, it's tough to break it down into numbers like that. I mean, we send our stuff out to test, so we know the numbers. But really, the moral of the story is dose responsibly. So, don't start at 100, start at 10, and then work your way up. So people have these awful experiences because, they're getting stuff that either they don't know what the dosage is, the people who made it don't know what the dosage is, or they just don't care. And, that's when the bad experiences come into play. But, if we give you a 100 milligram rainbow cookie to try and you've never done edibles before, like, first off, I won't even give you the 100 milligram like cookie to try, but you take it in pieces. So, for me, I would say the average, if you're smoking like, a couple of joints a day, you could probably 50 milligrams would put you 25 to 50 milligrams will put you where you want to be, especially if you're trying to go to bed, take care of like pain management. There's so many different things that they're good for. So it's tough to break down. Like 100 milligrams is a lot, but 10 milligrams, like Steve said, you break a gummy in half. If you don't feel it, take the other half another 45 minutes later. So
when you're making, say, a brownie or something of that nature, how do you measure out 100 milligrams like to bake into that piece?
So especially in the bakery, we have it's a wax. It's called distillate, and you get a liter of it. It's 1,000,000 milligrams. You could break that down into, let's say, 10,100 milligram cookies. If you break that into the right, if you mix it in, obviously you mix it in the right way, olive oil, you mix it in with the batter, the syrup, whatever it may be. It's actually pretty easy to dose, man. And all that, and all the disty comes from, from the lab. So everything is tested, down to, THC percentage, CBD percentage, everything. So it's
crazy. And it doesn't, nothing like that, like bakes out of the cookie. Like you don't lose it once it's like added in, for example, and you bake it.
No. So you bake it at low temperatures too. You make it low temperature, so you're not trying to burn, the trichromes. You're not trying to burn anything off of it. So you want the potency to still be there. But then it's a science. Like, you don't just do it and then that's it. It's multiple times sending stuff out, doing the same recipe over and over and over again. Same kind of butter again. So everything for us is farm to table. We know where the bud is being grown. It's basically seed to sale. You know where the bud's grown. Who grew it. What they grew it with, and it hasn't touched any hands in between. So that's what we stress. Everything's got to be farm to table. That's know where your stuff is coming from, or grow your own.
You guys are the Whole Foods of pot butter.
I wouldn't mind being the Whole Foods of pot butter.
No, it's the safety aspect, and that's the beauty of legalization is that people can walk into a store and know that it's not from Joey down the block, or you don't know where he bought it from, what was sprayed with it, if it was laced or anything, and you are getting the real deal. It's been tested and it's been it's safe on that standpoint.
That's super important. You hear all these crazy stories of people ODing from, like, obviously not really marijuana, but from other drugs. Other drugs that people don't know what's in it, what they're getting, etc. So knowing exactly what you're getting is going to be super important, just for selling down the line, or just to have people that feel safe that want to buy the product at the end of the day.
100%.
In terms of infusions, I've been, you see a whole bunch of crazy infusions of THC, like, body lotion, chapstick, drinks. What is some of the crazier concoctions that you've seen or that you've tried or that's coming out?
Oh, the first thing I can think of off the top of my head, me and Mario went to this Hamptons event. It was called the Hot Box. It was 2 weeks ago in Southampton.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
And we walked up. I wish I could remember this company's name, man. I'm upset I can't. We walked up to this, like, next to the bar, and they had these, like, little smokers.
Okay.
So they would make you a drink with no, like, liquid in it, and then pump this, like, smoke into a straw. So you would smoke, like, the vapor.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I got a mango one, and it tasted exactly like mangoes, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it got me a little fucked up. Like, I didn't really want to be that high at that point, but, like, it tasted exactly like a mango, which is pretty cool.
See, now I know, like, Franco's my guinea pig. Like, I know I got to make sure Franco's okay first before I try something like that out in public. You know what I mean?
Out in public, I gotta be a person.
No, people get super creative with out there. I mean, I've been on a couple websites, and it's amazing what they mix everything in, and it just, I guess, as long as it's safe, the sky's the limit in terms of creativity wise.
Yeah, I mean, and you can infuse anything really nowadays. We infuse sauce, ketchup, honey mustard.
Wait, I saw your sauce is a honey mustard, the Chick-fil-A sauce that I saw.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Incredible.
I wish Chick-fil-A made a bigger bottle, man. It's killing me. I walk in there trying to buy, like, in bulk, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
Really? You got to do like chicken nugget barbecue sauce, like open pit barbecue sauce is the sauce that we had in MacArthur on Thursdays. If you can do that,
really?
Sauce. Yeah. They
sell
it at you know what? I asked the ladies one day, and they sell it at Restaurant Depot.
Okay.
And it's called open pit barbecue sauce. For anybody who knows, it's like the high school barbecue sauce. It was like the perfect amount of tanginess, spicy, and barbecue. And if you can infuse that, that would be a seller right there.
I'll bring it this weekend.
I love it.
Add it to the list. I know, like, you guys have made some wild stuff, from wild looking cookies and donuts, and obviously, like you said, the mustards, the ketchups. What is, like, what are the top 3 things that people are really, going for, that they want, like, all the time?
So number 1 is the rainbow cookies. Those are, we give those out like hotcakes. Like to everyone that wants to try them, I wish I had a number. I wish, like, I could go back to the beginning and be like, count every rainbow cookie you give away, because it's astronomical. Like, it's insane. Now we make these red velvet cakes also that are shaped just like the rainbow cookies. Those took second in New York State for the edibles Hitman glass competition, which is pretty cool. Yep.
So what do they base that off? So you won second place is it like in flavor, or is it in high? Like, what is it?
I wish I could be a judge. I'm still working my way up to being a judge. They get like 60 judges, which is pretty cool. I don't know how many edibles were used. There's got to be at least, there's 500 people at the place. So
Every judge eating one edible.
yeah, but they get a month. They get a month to do it because
That's one day.
I thought it was all like in one sitting. I'm like, oh my Lord.
oh my god, can you imagine? No, they get a month. They get a month. It's like concentrates, buds, and literally everything you can think of, like solventless, unsolventless, anything. So that was pretty cool that we took second place in that. And the cookies that our baker Jenner makes, man, these half-pound cookies. Remember, like my cookie dealer?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they're basically the same thing. I love my cookie dealer. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but our cookies are better. It's just simple. It's a simple fact. And when we make so many regular cookies, and so we're selling a lot of regular food. When we send them, the coolest part is that we bake them on site and then send them immediately. So when you get them, they're still fresh. Like they don't come frozen, which is great. We send them overnight, so it's a real quick process to get those cookies out.
What is regulation like? So can somebody open up a bakery? Can you link up with a bakery? Can you link up with any kind of retail establishment right now and bring your branded cookies in and sell, or have them sell on consignment?
So technically, I could go in with guys who have these licenses already, but there's only been 3 licenses given out, and that's not the ones that we're really looking for just yet. We could team up with someone who has them, give them our batter, and they could bake it, and we could just be on like salary. But like I didn't really get into that to do something in that matter. We have the means to make it exactly what we want. There's a couple of different routes we're waiting to go, but regulations, New York State's kind of still all over the place, man. It's been a tough market, especially to start, because cultivators had their licenses last year. They're sitting on hundreds and thousands of pounds of weed because there was no dispensaries open to sell their weed from. What happens in that time? Mold, pesticides, everything starts growing on that. So all the first rounds of buds, no bueno.
Mm-hmm.
So the market takes a hit. They're trying to weed all these little guys out, man. So they're slowly rolling out these next licenses. We're looking for the micro business. I don't need to be one of the big dogs in the macro game. The weed business it's so big that even micro is macro if you look at it. So we're looking at like a cafe, so like a micro business license, like in Amsterdam, something to that nature, but with our own little twist on it. I just want to get this logo or the NYPB like on a storefront, dude, and just let the door just go like this.
So that's the end all plan, to have like a brick and mortar like cafe style where they can come in, grab maybe a regular cocktail or a regular cup of coffee or an infused cup with pastry, or sell regular pastries for the people that just want to come and join in and just hang out with some music playing and just make it more of like a chill, relaxed, type of like a dessert coffee shop at the end of the day, but infused.
Yeah, so like you could come in and you and Steve can come in the morning. You can get an infused bacon, egg, and cheese. Steve can get a regular one. We can take a picture behind his license plate and call it a day.
Oh, that would be a dream.
That's what we want to do. But yeah, just like you said, man, it's infused, not infused. So, it could be real cool because for an extra, I think it's like an extra $5,000 like a year now, which is in the grand scheme of things nothing for this license. You could be an outside consumption lounge also. So we could do live comedy at night, live music at night. So it's not just a cafe. It could be an all day kind of thing. It just serves breakfast and then regular stuff moving forward.
Right. At nighttime, you can make it more like bringing a live music and have people like come in and
dinner, like do
your own events. Dinner. Your dinner's in there. And
yeah, it's a one-stop shop. We're growing there. We're delivering from there. It's the fucking dream, really. Like that's what it is. So hopefully New York State. I mean, listen, they're rolling out slow. They're trying not to make the same mistakes that California made and Colorado has made.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, I would like to do it within this calendar year, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So have you guys been to the farm? Sorry, Josh. No. Have you guys been to the Farmingdale one that just opened up?
Strange Stars? No, I haven't gone. I heard real good things though.
It was just like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So and that one's more like very similar to like the ones that I see out in San Diego and stuff like that.
Dispensary.
Regular dispensary. They have all the fancy like LCD screens on the wall that has all the things they're selling. The big showcases. Like, it looks cool like the first 1 or 2 times that you go in, and then it's like, all right, it's just like another like storefront type of deal, right? You just walk in, you pick up what you want, a couple bags of gummies, a couple of bags of this, and you're on your way. But so is it a different style of license that they're going after getting, for like that style of retail compared to something that you guys are trying to do with a storefront cafe style?
Yeah, so Strange Stars is a dispensary, so they went for the dispensary license. So with that, they have that storefront, the retail. They don't grow their own bud. They contract with other people, with the cultivators who are growing the bud to sell there. The gummies aren't made in house. The gummies are probably made from, if you go there, I haven't been, so I don't want to say this out, but it's definite, but they probably don't have anything labeled Strange Stars as anything that they grew themselves in their stores. So,
is that common?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's part of the license that, I'm not brushed up on that because I wanted nothing to do with the dispensary, but I'm pretty sure you have to sell it. Like you can sell you don't grow your own bud that you sell in your dispensary.
Gotcha. But with the license that you guys, that you're trying for, that basically allows you to grow your own stuff because you're baking or making your products with it. So you can't have bud in a glass and just buying like the actual flower, for example. Yours would have to be in the shape of a dessert or something of that nature.
No, so if we did the on-site consumption lounge, we would sell the flower as well. So it would be cool because you would see the flower that you're actually getting the infusion with. You can smoke the actual flower that we turned into that wax, that we turned into that butter, the olive oil, whatever it may be. So we want to just create an experience for people. I want something that someone's going to come in and immediately just go like this, just start taking videos of everything. People are here for the experience, and that's what we want to put on for them.
The design and decor of that has got to be just very on point, and that's got to be the cool part for you, that both of you guys can come in and figure out where, what's in your brain, what you want on the walls, and you can really put your personality and onto it. And like that's going to be what's really going to attract people in this climate when you want this all day long.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of feng shui in there, man.
So like, where are you at in that process now? Like, have you already filed? Like, are you on like a waiting list to try to get something like that, or you're still doing your own thing right now, testing different products out before you even get to that point?
Right now, we're still, in the phase of getting the legs going. We have all the paperwork ready to go. We're just kind of it's basically like limbo right now in New York State because the license just isn't available. So it's just a waiting game at this point.
Oh, so like the license that you guys would want is not even offered to anybody yet?
Nope. They're saying by the end of the year, but they said that last year also. So, you can only take it for as far as you can throw it. But, like I said, it's limbo right now in New York. It's the Wild West. You see more and more every day, another dispensary getting closed down in, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, whatever it may be. Guys are just setting up shop and doing it because, they're legacy guys, man. They're the ones that should be getting these licenses anyway. Mm-hmm. They are New York State. Marijuana. You can't just bring somebody in from California that's been doing this now they're New York State. Like that's not how that works. But that's eventually, it's big business, man. And now they can make money from it. New York State, come on.
It's coming, just a matter of time.
Yeah. Yep.
I just don't understand, the sky's the limit with the revenue that the state can make in taxing and everything like that. I don't understand what's taking them so long to try to get some of this revenue.
Do you think once they do legalize it and start giving out these licenses that the drug dealer of marijuana these days is just going to be like wiped out? Like there will really be no reason for them, or is there?
I mean, the black market's always going to be the black market, man. You're going to Strange Stars, you get an eighth for $70, bro. You can go across the street and get an eighth for 30, and it's probably equal buds. Like all this bud that they're getting is grown in New York. Some of these guys that are getting buds over here, getting from California, they're getting from out of state. Obviously, it's not legal, but the black market is always going to be a thing. Like, regardless, it might take a little bit of a hit when the flower starts getting up to par, and when these bakeries start opening. You can go in, you can have an experience like that. There's no reason for us to be renting out, anywhere else. You have your own spot to do it. So, right. And everything's private. Everything's a private party, exclusive. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting moving forward.
So I got one for Mario. So I know, Mario, we were chatting back and forth via Messenger on Instagram just about the podcast. So given that you've always wanted to kind of start one and now you're getting your feet wet, you had about 15, 20 guests, who are some kind of interviewers that you've been following or kind of modeled, or have you now you've been doing it, kind of been watching a lot more of these shows and interviews and just kind of see how they handle themselves, or like anybody that you want to kind of emulate?
I mean, I think if I say this name one more time, Franco's just going to tune me out. But I always talk about Ed Milet. I love the Ed Milet
He's
show.
great. He is great.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had his voice, but I don't. So, you know, but I think the way he's able to connect with every guest, it seems like so easily, that's something that I really strive to do. I'm getting better at. I hope I continue to get better. And, you know, for me, you know, I'm a life story guy, not so much in terms like what events occurred in your life, but like how you overcame those events or what you're doing to make yourself better. And I think that's where me and Franco really just mesh really well, because when it comes to information on any guest, Franco can just soak up everything, and he knows like their second cousin's first daughter's birthday. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, all right, so you were an alcoholic. How'd you get better? You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of guy that I am.
You guys flow well together.
I ease him in, and Mario just fucking slams him home.
So,
when you started the podcast, Mario, was it to help grow like the New York Pop Butter brand, or was it really just to give you another avenue of something that put like, okay, we got the edibles, but now we also have like another stream. Maybe one day that could be a source of an income where, you know, the podcast people, you know, if you hit it and it ends up getting thousands of views on YouTube and this and that, where it actually turns into a revenue stream. Like, what is that like? Was that the end all be all goal, or?
Yeah, we had New York Pop Butter in mind. I mean, at one point, one of the first conversations we had, Franco was just like, man, I just need you to say something that goes viral and we take off, you know, like, because it started out with, you know, I had my own plan. You know, one of my nicknames is Nino, and Franco argues about that. But I was going to do nonsense with Nino, and my show was just going to be ridiculous. You know, and then Franco came to me, he's like, let's tie in Pop Butter. And I'm like, I'm all for it. It sounds like a great idea. So, yeah, from the start, it was always, how far can we take this, and how can we bring Pop Butter into this?
I love it.
Have you seen, since you started the podcast, the growth of like the brand of Pot Butter get bigger? Or followers or anything like that would kind of coincide with one another?
I think they kind of coincide with one another. You know, Mario does a great job on the social media side of things. We also have this girl Violena that we actually interviewed. She does, you know, a great job on the social media side of things. Also, for Pop Butter and the Oven Man, it's just with Pop Butter, our end goal was that cafe, but there's so many different things that can come from, you know, all these people that you meet in this community. Because, like I said, everyone smokes. You get rappers, you get comedians, you get just random people that come to these shows that you're at, and they're smoking with you, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? So, you know, for Mario to be cool with it, like, you know, for us to just do all the infusions, it kind of just made everything just easier, you know, because it's a one-stop shop. Every restaurant we go to, we have everything that they need. Some restaurants we even go and we pick up their sauce ahead of hand, and then, you know, infuse it in the kitchen, and then bring it back. So everything is still exactly the way that they prepare it, just with our stuff in it, which is so cool to think about. Like,
yeah, it is wild to see, and I just feel so. As you guys are growing right now, it's all about basically just building the brand and getting the name as big as you can. So when the time comes, the masses already know you and they see your logo up on the wall, and you're like, dude, opening day, like we gotta like go wait online and have a line around the block, right? So as you guys are growing and trying to get the name out there in the masses until D-Day comes, right, when you get that brick and mortar, what is like the number one thing to do other than the podcast? Like, how do you get the name out there? Is it just going to these different style trade shows that I used to see you doing? I don't know if you still do them. But
I love the spin the wheel. They're doing the spin the wheel. So how many times has Johnny Ohms tagged me in one of the posts that, you know, tag 3 people in this post and win $50 of swag from Pot Butter? It's a great way to do it. People love free shit, and you guys do that, I don't know, once a week.
Before we get on to the wheel spin, we'll talk about that in a second. The best thing, in my opinion, that you guys did was you made it almost like a scavenger hunt, and you would literally put bags of shit and like put it on your story. Like, there's a goodie bag right here, and people would go and try to find it. That I thought was genius. With a sticker.
Yeah, so we call that the Stash and Dash.
It's a great name.
So when we started doing it, man, I was actually a little nervous because we're going to high traffic areas, and like number one, people would see me get out of my truck and they're like, "Why the fuck is this guy just put in like a bag, like in a sketchy little spot?" So, like, and then like you post it and you're like, "Yo, what if a little kid gets this?" So now I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna post up like right here and make sure he gets it." But like the first one we put out, a guy was there in like under 3 minutes. I was like, "Holy hell, I'm gonna give out so much stuff right now." Like, and that actually really helped us, gain a big influx of followers because they would tag us. And like Steve said, man, people love free shit. So, and it's easy. Like when we were baking stuff like Rice Krispie treats, brownies, like their shelf life is a week. So at day 5, we go, let's go have some fun. We got 2 days to mess around and see people run around all over the place and grab our stuff.
Yeah, it's so true. And so right now, what are you doing to really grow the name as much as possible? When you do these trade shows, are you trying to like offer like your product to like a bigger name and be like, dude, I just try this and just tell me what you think about it, and hope that they write you a ridiculous review, like be like, yo, I just got these these cookies from Pop Butter, and be like, yeah, exactly. Like, are you guys trying to reach out to like bigger name influencers and be like, dude, just try these?
So with the trade shows, we still do them. We actually have this called Token Show coming up this weekend, Saturday. Obviously, we won't be there. It's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu event. Mike the Manimal Beneducci and our boy Matt Frivola, steamroller from the UFC, number 14 ranked lightweight in UFC, baby. I love it. He's working his way up. But they're going to be fighting in the main event. So, we do events like that now. We do festivals like weed festivals, but, all the shows are great. It's, the shows that they do, because they still have them. You can find the show. Like, you want to go to a show after we get off, we can just jump in my car and we can be in Bayshore in 20 minutes. There's shows every night of the week.
Can you link up with like music festivals? Like, there's so many music festivals all throughout the United States. If I guess somewhere in a place where you got a little booth there and everybody's just jamming out, feeling good.
So we did like Great South Bay Music Fest. Like, that was pretty cool. Again, you're not selling anything. You're just giving everything away. All small doses. We do like 5 milligram cookies, like cute little cookies that I love them. Nice. We just give those out. It's really just, like you said, just building the brand and making these connections. And then a lot of these connections, we turn into bringing them on the podcast. So it makes things a little bit easier. And then on the podcast, they're still trying our stuff. They learn about the oven. They learn about Pop Butter. And the coolest part, to me at this point, has been seeing, like, especially as of late, all these guys like are hanging out after too. It's not like they're coming just to like get on the pod and they're out. Like, good meal, see you later. You guys are hanging out, having a good time, trying new things too. Like, we had the Psychic Godfather come on. This guy Jason Donegan. He's a character, man, from out east. He came on. He doesn't really smoke, but me and Mario are sitting there eating this infused like barbecue sauce with the buffalo chicken egg rolls, and he's like, I kind of want to try it. It's like, let's go, like, come on,
go in.
And he loved it. He got home and texted us. He's like, this is great. So that it's still definitely at that point, like, where it's rewarding. It's a cool process, and seeing what it can become that's the coolest part. Building it from the ground up. Like Mario said, we had a guy that found us, and he's like, "Oh, take over my podcast. You guys would be great." We hit 10,000 plus subscribers. We were like, we thought about it. We were like, we're going to change this podcast, and out of nowhere, these people are going to see us posting to be the oven. Like, what the hell's going on? So we made the executive decision to just build it organic, and just like Pop Butter, everything we've done has been organic. We don't buy followers. We don't do anything like that. So we try and market the right way.
You guys look like you're just having fun and you're happy, and that's like the most beautiful thing too. It's just starting something, getting successful, and just enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, it's seriously. You know what I love? You know what I love most? Making the shirts. I love just coming up with an idea and being like, throw it on a shirt, see how it goes.
See what sticks.
Are you making money off the merch yet, at least? Or
yeah, we're making money on the merch. We have a bunch of merch coming out actually. I got the Bone Thugs and Harmony shirt on right now, like the was the Dare logo.
Dare, yeah.
So we have NYPB coming out with dosing you responsibly since 2020. Like random stuff like that. We got a bunch of like cool stuff coming out, so it's pretty exciting.
So I was trying to look. You guys don't have a website yet or anything like that, right?
Yeah, we do. It's www.nypb.store.
Okay, .store. Okay.
Yeah, .store. Yeah. So right now we don't actually sell. We sell everything just merch on the store.
Right.
We're working our way into actually innovating like the regular food as well. So just a quick.
Is that a different license than the storefront? Like, if you get the storefront license, are you allowed to sell online, or is that a totally different like animal?
In what sense?
So like when you guys get to the
e-commerce,
point,
e-commerce.
like e-commerce, yeah, when you guys
Oh.
want to sell when you get allowed to sell your brownies in
So that's a good
storefront,
question.
is it a different license to be able to sell online, or
That's actually a good question because I haven't heard anything about that, like with that micro business, especially. The one thing is you can deliver. So I think you have a delivery service that's attached to the same license. So e-commerce might be a little iffy.
imagine door dashing? You just let me door dash like 3 brownies and like a milkshake.
You're gonna be doing it within the next 2 years. I'm telling you.
At some point, that's gonna happen.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, like we're making ice cream right now, dude. Like we made like this infused rainbow cookie ice cream. I'm not kidding. I ate it last night. I slept 12 hours straight. I almost didn't have to go to work. It was so good, man. Jenna made that stuff for us too. So you want to make ice cream? So we make ice cream and these cookies that look like French fries that you could just dip them in. So
Are you guys working full time? Is this your full time gigs, or
I'm still doing the surveying and engineering, man.
surveying?
Still doing that every morning, yeah.
Got it. Full time.
And like I said, this doesn't feel like work. So like I go to work and then like I get done and I just fuck around a little bit.
As soon as this goes where you can get your license, are you leaving that job and going all in?
I've given a lot of thought to that. I'm so close to getting my surveyor's license. I've been doing this for 8 years now. Like I may as well just get it and have it in my back pocket. So like, why would I do this for 8 years and then just say, fuck it, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
How many years do you need to be doing it to get the license?
I can take the test probably within the next couple of months, which is awesome. I don't know if I'm going to pass that test in the next couple of months, but I could definitely take it. So the test is tough, bro. Like it's all the math like from high school that I really wish I paid attention to. Everyone's like, man, you don't do anything from high school. I'm like, no, you fucking do. Trust me. Well, what do you guys in the stock market? Oh shit.
There was one High Tide. They're actually one of the largest retailers out in Canada. Check them up. Raj Grover is the CEO. They got like 150, 155 storefronts. Pretty bullish on that. I got a couple shekels in there. Josh knows on my end. And
stay away.
No, it's a great HITI. HITI is
it's great as you see.
Watch in the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to skyrocket. The CEO is on top. They own, I think, 4 of the top 5 e-commerce websites. All across, which is like a great way. They're vertically integrating everything into their system. They're just retail. They're not like growers or anything like that. What'd you say?
Okay, like penny stock?
They're trading right now for like $1.32 or so right now. But check them out. HITI. I'm very bullish on them. So hopefully maybe we'll be bankrolling our stores together.
or Pop Butter will go under before it gets a chance to go.
Or it goes under. One of the other. That's it.
HITI.
That's it.
So, what is the 5-year plan for the podcast? So that'll be for you, Mario. Answer that one, and then Frankie, what's the 5-year plan for Pop Butter?
Mario, well, we got you.
Yeah, please.
So, the 5-year plan with the podcast, man, is just to keep making these connections and just keep getting some of these, these guests on that we've been blessed to have. If you asked me if I was going to be sitting down with Jackie the Joke Man or Mims, if you told 14-year-old me that I was going to be sitting down with Mims in a couple of years, I'd tell you you're crazy, So it's just meeting new people, making new connections. We're going to try to be as consistent as we can be with our content. I think consistency is key. I think focusing on shorts and little short content is also big. We're seeing the effects of that ourselves. In the beginning, we were running into some videography issues. So not only were we not consistently putting out full-length episodes, we just weren't really ready to make short clips. And now we're noticing, if we throw something up of just Franco and myself, we're getting a lot of hits, we're getting a lot of views, we're getting a lot of comments. So I think it's just continuing to be creative, all while being consistent with that main full-length episode schedule, and just connections, meet new people, and just put ourselves out there. That's the biggest thing. A lot of this stuff we just stepped into just because Franco knew someone who knew someone in the industry, So networking is huge. People stress that. and I say it all the time, you know, Franco's ability to meet new people, make a connection, build a meaningful connection, and make that connection last. It's one of his gifts, and it's one of the things we've been blessed with. Him as Pop Butter, me with the Oven Podcast, us as a group. You know, I say this all the time. I tell people when his thing was baseball growing up, right? And when he was done with baseball, you know, his mom was, you know, she came up. I was one of his best friends growing up. She came up to me on the side and she's like, "Is Franco going to be okay?" You know, like we thought baseball was going to be it for him. And I looked at her, I said, "Lori," I was like, "He's not one of those dudes that only had baseball." Everyone in Levittown, everyone across Long Island, you know, when they met Franco, they liked him for Franco, not because of his knuckle curve. You know what I'm saying? I said, he's going to be okay. And I think the podcast, I think New York Pop Butter, I think you're just seeing that come to life right now.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? Josh is my best friend from back in the day. Me and him have a business together, and it's so great to work with somebody you've known for, 20 years of your life, and you have that admiration for, and you know them, you know their backstory, and to see that success grow. I love it. Two best friends hanging out with two best friends from Levittown. Is there anything better than this?
Everyone says don't work with your friends. I say fuck that.
It's so funny,
man. It's building those relationships and the content, and that's what you guys do great, man. You guys have so much good content. It's like every day I see you guys posting something new. And
that's what I wanted
to get to. We want to get to that point. I remember talking to you about it a couple.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you guys when you said that. What are you guys doing to make sure that you're getting all the micro content to go along with the long form content to go along with the posting on a regular basis? Are you guys doing it yourselves? Are you hiring a company, or what are you guys doing to make sure that you guys are hitting the that everyday type of thing? Like, what are you guys doing right now?
I mean, not for nothing, man. Mario, like I said before, he does an unreal job. Once we film the episode, he, right after work or sometimes maybe even at work, will watch the whole episode, and he breaks down. First, he's making his edits, and then while he's making his edits, he's timestamping everything for when we want these clips to be made. We kind of go all over the map a little bit because, everyone's always asking, what is your podcast about? And it's like, well, we ask. It's an interview style pod, but we ask, deep questions. We ask funny questions. Mario asks naughty questions. There's so many different ways that we can go. So we try and get a couple clips from each of them and kind of just drop them whenever they make sense. And I think Mario's been doing it himself. Via Elena has also been doing it herself. And it's a lot more of a fucking process than people realize. It's the captions, man. The captions are insane.
Dude, one 30-minute video, one 30-second video will take you an hour to 2 hours to make.
Yeah, and that's where I commend you, and I personally, I can't do that.
Dude, it's super time consuming, which is why I outsource it now. I have somebody that's posting for me twice a day. Okay. I take this podcast, I send it to them. Next week I'll have 20 micro clips and the full episode up on YouTube, and they'll be posting the micro clips throughout the next week, saying go watch the full episode on our YouTube channel type of deal, without having to put 1 hour worth of work into it.
With captions.
Now, do they run it through you guys first, before they post it, or do you just have
So they can. You kind of do either or. There's some people where they'll send you the videos and you post it on your own when you want to post it. Or for example, I used to want to have my grip on everything, right? I want to be able to see every video. I want to know exactly what's going out. As I realized, the video goes out, and in a couple of days, that video is so far down the page as you're posting on a regular basis, it's gone, where I don't even care now. I don't even know what they're posting. I'll get a text message, "Joe, that was a great video they just put out," or something like that, and I'll have to go look because I have no idea what they just put out. And I'll be on vacation. I go away for a week, or I was in Florida. The other day, Steve and I went to Florida. I had some stuff I had to take care of the house down there, and content's still going out without thinking about it. Things are going out business as normal, right? So outsourcing that and just not having to think about it is one of the best things ever, because it's super, super time consuming. And if you think about, you want to make 10 clips and it's taking you an hour, 2 hours a clip, you're talking, you're almost working a full hour work week by the time you get everything up and running, and that's not even doing the actual posting. And, we're posting on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. Like it's going everywhere, right? So like not having to worry about it and just knowing that it's going up. And then it's the consistency factor. Like if I was doing it, it's hard to stay consistent. And the way to beat these algorithms is you got to be doing it. If you're posting once a day, it has to be literally once a day, right? And as soon as you start falling off, like your view rate goes down. So it's like it's just so much work. So that's why I was curious and why I asked what you guys were doing to on that avenue.
You guys said house. I heard you say house in Florida. Or you guys going all over the place now, huh?
So I'm looking. Yeah. So my 5-year plan is to be full time in Florida and coming back and forth to New York rather than being in New York and going back and forth to Florida. So the goal is to be there. So we bought a house in August. So we had that done and appreciate it. And we just had a pool put in the backyard. So we had to go down there because they had to transfer over some of the electrical lines and stuff. So I wanted to be there. But we Airbnb it when we're not there. It does really well so far. So knock on wood. That'll be a forever rental house once we get there in 5 years, and we'll build a forever home somewhere in Florida, and then be coming back and forth to here, and hopefully be selling real estate there and coming back and forth here. So that's the plan. We'll see how that goes.
Best of luck, man.
I love that for you. Good for you, man.
Thank you.
You'd be a cute snowbird.
That's the plan. At least we'll see how it goes. But we didn't forget your question, Franco. So now it's your time to let us know the 5-year plan for Pod Butter.
So really for us, man, hopefully in 5 years it's federally legal too, where we can get some real get someone to put your money in the bank too, which would be nice. The 5-year plan, it's New York State is going to be regulated, so I can't just get a bigger and bigger store, regulated to, let's say 6,000 square feet, So the plan for us is just to keep kicking. I want this to be my full time. In 5 years, if I'm, full time, that would be amazing. For the micro business, we can't actually, we can't have another store in New York. So
only one store total.
One store total. So it would be nice, and you could put anything in front of PB. Florida goes legal, FLPB. Texas goes legal, probably never TXPB. There's so many different things that we could do with it, and just make it an attraction. I want people. I shouldn't have to worry about where I put it. If there's enough people that want to come to it, they'll make their way there. I could put it upstate. I could put it in Staten Island. It doesn't matter where I put it. I could put it in Long Beach and make you travel, one way in, one way out. And you're going to do it. So, that's the 5-year plan, man. I want people to want to come to, our attraction.
So as you were talking about just throwing it out to all these places, I don't know why I just thought of this. Have you ever thought in the future of Pot Butter of almost licensing this out where you don't have to open up all these storefronts, or you don't have to, you could literally just say, I'm going to sell you the product, or I'm going to sell you the recipe, and I'm going to make $1 off every cookie that you sell for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah, that's really the idea. Me opening up the stores would have, be somebody else obviously running the day-to-day, running the whole, process of that whole entire store. And it would be, let's say, TXPB, right? We would be white labeling our stuff as TXPB for them while we're making, all the batter here, or they're taking our recipes and doing the same exact thing over and over again.
Right.
So you take out the shipping part all together.
Right. That's what I figured, if you're just buying the recipe and they just make it right there, it's basically like you're franchising New York Pot Butter, but it's basically like a license play. But
we're not franchising because it's not NYPB.
Right.
So it's a little different. We would just have ownership, and it would be, I think it would be cool, man. Just like you said, you're going to be, living in Florida, selling real estate, coming back to New York. I would love to take just a random trip down to Florida and be like, yeah, I got a house to stay in. I'm going to run past the shop real quick, make sure everyone's taken care of. And I'm going to go to the beach and hang out. And then I'm going to come back to New York and do the same damn thing. That sounds like a pretty good 5-year plan, though.
Yeah. I've recently realized, I was basically just selling real estate for the last 5.5 years, 6 years. And then you realize how many different avenues, and it's the same in every business, in your businesses and same thing with ours. There's so many different avenues that you could really run down to basically bring in an income, with multiple streams. You're not just one trick pony. There's so many different things you can do, which is, why Steve and I opened up, Cash Out Long Island, doing wholesaling opportunities. And, okay, we find a need. Oh, cold callers are huge, and getting trained cold callers could be huge. every single time you go to one of these companies, they're all overseas. They have no idea how to really speak about New York State, Long Island real estate. If we train them, like there's value there, and then you could, to give them to people that could use them. Like if I could save you 40 hours a week on the phone, what's that value to you if you bring in 1 or 2 deals or something like that,
It's
right?
just, it's just all about integrating yourself, like in whatever your main business is, and just vertically integrating out to multiple aspects, and then branching out to little different businesses from there. And that's obviously how you get passive in life, and that's what you want to do.
It's like what's your time?
The goal.
Correct. That's it.
Yep. It's what is your hourly pay worth? If you're not gonna, if your hourly pay is worth $500 an hour, you don't want to be doing $20 an hour jobs.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's it.
Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on the pod. Really, I'm looking forward to the rainbow cookies, of course. Looking forward to just seeing
good barbecue sauce, a little bit of infusion. Well, hopefully that'll be coming soon.
Looking forward to seeing more episodes of the Oven Podcast, seeing where Pot Butter goes. For everybody that doesn't know where you are, what's the best route to get a hold of episodes of the podcast if they want to try New York Pot Butter products, they want to buy swag, like where do they go? Where can they find you guys?
So for Pot Butter, you could, especially all the merch, www.nypb.store. The Oven Pod is www.theovenpod.com. We have links to everything right on there. The Shapiros who own, come on, it is coming to me. Tomahawk Shades. They're big website builders, man. They did a great job for us on both ends, New York Pot Butter and the Oven Podcast. So they're kind of interchangeable. You can find everything right on there. The Instagram is the same at NY Pot Butter, and the Instagram for the Oven at the Oven_pod. I just want to say thank you for having us, man. And it's cool to see, like what you guys have been doing too, bro. Because like you got to think, we grew up in high school together. You guys have always been hustling, bro. Always been hustling. Whether it's getting the best jerseys that we've seen from overseas and peddling, and you guys know, man, we're selling real estate in different states, bro. It's pretty cool. So,
well, we appreciate that. It's an awesome having you guys on, and you know what? It's great to see everybody have some success, and hopefully, much continue to that as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate this.
Ciao,
Thanks,
fellas.
guys. Good luck to everything.
Later, boys.
Have a good night.